Hello everybody, this is Psychic Isaac, Guineith Isaac speaking today. Okay, I have a YouTube video that I'm making today, that's now. I just want to comment on something that I've noticed, and probably others of you have noticed it too, but I'm going to say it now. YouTube messing with the views. Okay? YouTube, it's just not good enough. Now, I know for a fact that my videos have been receiving more views than what you say that they've been receiving. Okay? Because people I know have been spreading them virally. They have told me that they have been, that they thought they were funny and that they've been spreading them to their friends and emailing the links and so forth and so on. And yet it comes up with like 15 views. It's not just me either. Alex Jones, okay? He had one of his recent videos. Oh yes, that's right, the Prometheus one. One day scores, 101,000 hits in 24 hours. And the next day it scores like, the number of hits goes down to 95,000. I mean, come on. It did like 5,000 people just unwatch the video. What a joke. What an absolute joke. What do they think we are? Stupid? Of course YouTube messes with the views. Don't know if you knew this, but this is another thing that Alex Jones revealed a while ago. If you go to infowars.com and just search, you'll find that that he uncovered that Google was owned by the CIA and the FBI. We all know that. It's no big secret. It's such a petty, ridiculous thing. People are all frightened of Big Brother. I've got one thing to say to that. We're ordinary people living ordinary lives, okay? And I'm a psychic. I'm well known as, anyone can search in the public record, I'm a psychic, so what? Woo! And I'm known for being alternatively minded, politically alternatively minded. And I'm known for being a pacifist. But all of these crimes, crimes, you're a psychic, you're a witch. Woohoo! My God, the days of burning witches at the stake were like 150 years ago. Come into the 21st century, boys and girls. Some people might define me as a witch, okay? But, witchcraft isn't a crime. Reading cards is not a crime. Drawing up horoscopes is not a crime. And I'm not a black witch. I don't cast spells to harm people. When I do cast spells, it's for a positive outcome. To make it rain, for instance. To, I don't know, make my animals healthier. Whatever. Make my trees grow more. What a ridiculous thing. That's all I can say, you know. Meantime, the Illuminati stooges are molesting children. They are committing murder. There's 1,500 children in Australia go missing every single year. Yeah, where's the crime happening? The banks are ripping people off left, right and centre. You know? That's all on the public record. It's well known that the banks are ripping people off, that the stooges in various Masonic orders and other religious orders practicing satanic rituals that involve cruelty to animals, that involve torture and murder and sexual molestation of little children. I'm not the first one to say this. This is all on the public record, you know? What are they worried about me doing a card reading? Get real. We all have common law rights, okay? These rights are outlined in a number of legal documents, alright? One of them is the Magna Carta. The New World Order legal system will try and tell you that the Magna Carta is no longer a legal document. I've read the Magna Carta, and in the first paragraph it says, "This law be binding on us and our children forever." Now, if you've got to get a dictionary out to learn the meaning of forever, huh? They say that it's no longer a law because it was repealed by the king 3 years after he wrote it. Do you know who that king was? It was Bad King John. He was the one who originally signed the first Magna Carta, because if he didn't sign the first Magna Carta, the nobles were going to chop his head off. That was the origins of the Magna Carta, and any history book, any English history will tell you that they were basically going to shorten his life considerably. Now, he repealed that. He went back on his word 3 years later and attempted to repeal the Magna Carta. And the response of the British nobles to that, the British and the Irish nobles, all the Irish people out there, the Magna Carta applies to you too, because your lords signed it as well, okay? Australians and Americans, the Magna Carta, and Canadians, the Magna Carta applies to you too, because we are all English-speaking people. And the Magna Carta applies to all English and Gaelic-speaking people. Okay? Yeah. So, there we go. Do you need a dictionary? Are you going to, go by the reneging of Bad King John? Are you going to side with Bad King John, to say that the Magna Carta is no longer a valid piece of legislation? Of course it is. Forever means forever, and it doesn't matter if it's 800 years later. The Magna Carta is still good. And here is something that is in the Magna Carta. Okay? I'm just going to have to move this computer a bit to get my writing out so that I can read this, my notes, okay, which I have here, so I'm going to have to bend my head down to read my notes. The Magna Carta says, amongst other things, it's easily found online. If you want more details, read it for yourself. It was originally written in Latin, but there is a fairly easy to understand English language translation. In any word you don't understand, well, that's what the Oxford English Dictionary is for, okay? Which is also a British legal document, by the way. It's the official definition of the English language. So, there we go. Where are we? Where are we? Magna Carta. Magna Carta. Paragraph 13. And the City of London shall have all its ancient liberties and free customs, as well as by land and by water. As well as by land as by water. Furthermore, we decree and grant that all other cities, boroughs, towns and ports shall have their liberties and free customs. Now, you might think, so what? If a queen or a king of England wants to enter the old city of London, she or he has to knock. She has to come to a particular gate, which is called the bar, and she has to knock on the gate and ask permission to enter the walls of the old city of London. This is true. She doesn't live there, okay? There are people who do live there. People who live there tend to be bankers, lawyers, barristers, solicitors, judges, business people. And the Queen has no jurisdiction there. The reason why she has no jurisdiction in the City of London is because of the Magna Carta. It is because of paragraph 13 of the Magna Carta. The Queen has to knock before she comes in. She can't just go in there. And not only that, if any other city or borough or town or port, if she wants to visit any of them, she has to knock. She has to knock. She's not just allowed in there. So, if she wants to exercise her jurisdiction in, for instance, the port of Geraldton, she has to knock. And she's not allowed in here unless somebody answers the door, according to the Magna Carta. This is a powerful document, and it is still very much British law. The banksters must accept the Magna Carta. If they don't, the Queen can come and shut them down, because they all operate out of the walls of the old City of London. That's why royal jurisdiction has not one iota of say in the British banking industry. In fact, the reverse is true. That ever since the Napoleonic Wars and the victory of the British Navy in the Battle of Trafalgar, the Rothschilds, the Zionist bankers, have owned Britain. Now, I think I'm going to tell you the story of why that is so. Okay? You're going to like this. During the Battle of Trafalgar, at a particular point in the battle, it became obvious that the British Navy was going to win, and that victory was going to mean liberty from French rule for all English-speaking peoples forever. This should have been the greatest moment in British history. But Lord Nelson had a traitor on board. Lord Nelson had on board, now correct me if I'm wrong, okay, the nephew of Baron Rothschild. Okay, I can't at this moment remember which Baron Rothschild it is, but I won't let that get in the way. The nephew of Baron Rothschild was on board the Victory. At the time, when it became evident that the British were going to win the Battle of Trafalgar, Baron Rothschild's nephew had 2 pigeons which his uncle had given him. His uncle Baron Rothschild had given him these pigeons. One of them was trained to fly directly to the offices of the Times in London, and the other one was trained to fly to the Rothschilds' estate. Now, what happened was this. To the leg of the pigeon that was trained to go to the Times newspaper in London, the nephew of Baron Rothschild attached a message, and I don't know the exact words of the message, but the message was to the effect of this: that we have lost the battle and all is lost. And to the pigeon that was trained to go to the Rothschilds' estates, he attached a message saying, "Dear uncle, we have won." Now, of course, the Times got this particular report, and it wasn't too uncommon in those days for pigeons to be used as a courier service for short messages. Like, they didn't have text, did they? So they used to use carrier pigeons, homing pigeons, to carry messages, especially short but important ones. Now, the Times got this information and published a full story. They had actually written 2 stories, one for if the battle was won and one for if the battle was lost. They published the story that they had prepared ahead of time for if the battle was lost. And this also is not an uncommon practice in journalism. And they published the story to say that the Battle of Trafalgar had been lost. And of course, every man and his dog on that day when the Times came out sold his shares, and the London Stock Exchange crashed. Every man in the country who had shares crashed, sold his shares, and so crashed the stock exchange, the London Stock Exchange. Everybody, that is, except for good old Baron Rothschild, snake in the grass that he is, whatever. He went to London as soon as he received his little pigeon message, his little, carrier pigeon message. I was going to say passenger pigeon, but of course it was an ordinary homing pigeon, not a passenger pigeon, because this was Britain, not America. He received his message and got immediately into his coach and travelled to London. Went straight to the London Stock Exchange first thing in the morning and bought everything. He was the only buyer on the floor, including the Bank of England, including just about every company in all of Britain. And overnight, his wealth exceeded that of the Queen. King. Now, the following day, of course, the Victory limped into port, and the truth was known, but by then it was too late. Baron Rothschild owned it all, and the Rothschilds have owned it all ever since. That is how they came by their fortune. If you want to research this topic, go and research it. It's all on the public record if you want to find out the information for yourself. This is probably going to be stunning information for most people out there. And YouTube will probably fill this video with 0 hits for as long as they can. But this information is out there. It's out there if you want to go and research the original documents, But the Baron Rothschild, he was a skullduggerous bastard then, and Baron Rothschild's still a different Baron Rothschild, of course. He's still a skullduggerous bastard now, and I don't think that's a big surprise to anybody, is it? That the Rothschilds have been skullduggerous bastards for a very long time. They murder, they rape, they pillage, they lie, they steal, they destroy, whenever it takes their fancy to do so. And none of us ought to be shocked by it anymore. But what we need to be is aware that this is exactly what they're like. They don't play by any moral rules. But what they do is they tell you exactly what they're going to do before they do it. They do have a code of ethics. Lindsay Williams pointed this out a very long time ago, and it's actually true. The powers that be have a code of ethics, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to defeat them. Okay? This is how you defeat the powers that be. Going and marching on the streets does no good whatsoever. It only gets you into trouble. Okay? It gives them an excuse to go Orwellian on you. And it gives them an opportunity to put a whole lot of spoilers out there to create fights and riots within the legitimate demonstrations, so that they've got an excuse to use up their supply of tear gas and rubber bullets and real bullets and water cannons and whatever. Okay? It doesn't work. It just gets people into trouble. Now, this is how you need to resist them. They have got a set of morals, and they have to stick by it, because they have sworn blood oaths. Okay? Now, blood oath is a powerful thing. I know that, because if you study magic to any degree, you learn that blood oaths are powerful. The only blood oaths I've ever sworn are by the blood of Jesus Christ. Those are the only blood oaths I'll ever swear, by the blood of Jesus Christ. They're the most powerful ones of all. Blood oaths are powerful. You break a blood oath, you'll end up dead, unless you can then immediately afterwards claim the blood of Jesus Christ, and you are then his forever, and you have to follow him. And you go back on him, you'll end up in hell. So I'm just saying that, you know, that's no great surprise there either. They are sworn by blood oaths to do this. They have to. It's their morals, it's their ethics, and not only that, it's their blood oaths, and they have to stick by their own oaths. Otherwise they get in big trouble with their god, the devil. And, you know, I'll kick the devil's butt. But I'm under the blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus rescues us from the devil's power. Okay, I'm not saying that in a religious way, I'm saying because it's true. Alright? And I'm a psychic, and I deal every day with spirits. I deal every day with various spiritual powers, and I could not do my work if it weren't for Jesus helping me and protecting me. What I'm saying is this is how you defeat them. They're sworn by blood oaths to tell you exactly what they are going to do. They are sworn by blood oaths to the devil to tell you exactly what they are going to do before they do it. If they don't keep to their blood oaths, the demons of hell will be after them for breaking their blood oaths. And they don't want that. because they don't believe the power of the blood of Jesus to get rid of demonic influence. Okay? They've sold their souls to Satan. You know, Cliff High picked up on this. He's not a Christian. He's a Taoist. You know? But he picked up on this. They are Satanists. Ben Fulford picked up on this. He's a Buddhist. He's not a Christian. And I don't agree with everything he says, but he was smart enough to pick up that these New World Order bastards are a bunch of Satanists. And they are. They have sworn blood oaths to Satan, to the devil, that they have to tell you exactly what they're going to do before they do it. And what's more, you have to agree to it before they can do it. So, if you don't want them to spy on your internet, you'd better tell them that you don't want them to spy on your internet. Okay? You need to make a video saying you are not welcome to spy on my internet. Okay? And they are not allowed to spy on your internet unless you let them. And I'm going to tell you something. I do not consent to any New World Order, Illuminati, police, FBI, CIA bastards spy on my internet. Do you understand? I do not consent to anybody coming up with any hokey search warrants that are illegitimately, unlawfully obtained, that are fishing expeditions designed to get information about me to use against me in a court of law. I do not consent to such people, anybody, spying on my internet without my consent. And I do not consent. There, I'm glad I said it. If you say that, they have no authority to search your internet. Okay? Well, that's my rant for the day. Okay? I hope that it has helped somebody out there. All the best to you all, and you have a thoroughly good day. See you later.